Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 1 says, "Therefore we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, for who the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." This book was written to Christians in the first century who came out of Judaism, and they were trying to live for God by means other than faith. And that's what the believer does. When they place their faith in anything but Christ and Him crucified, they are living by another means, the means of the law, whether they're self-imposed laws, church laws, laws made up by some book or some author on how to live for God, or 10 steps, or 12 steps, or 40 days. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it's a man-made way, an attempt to live for God, and it'll never work. The word here is speaking to them, saying if you want to lay aside the weight of sin, if you want to be free from the sin that so easily ensnares or besets you, meaning the snare of sin that is there for the one who tries to live by the law, you need to look to Jesus and what He did at Calvary, and that alone. Keep your eyes fixed on that day in, day out. No matter your performance for that day, you may have a day where you made a lot of mistakes, or you may have a day where you made less mistakes. It doesn't matter. God's grace is not given to you based off your performance. It's given based off your faith. And what the writer here is saying, maybe it's Paul, maybe it's somebody else, either way it's authored by the Holy Spirit, is saying if you want to live a life, and if you're a believer, you should want to live this life. I would question whether or not you're saved if you don't want to live a life free from sin. Now, performing it is another thing. We're not called to be able to perform it. We have nothing in our flesh to perform it. We look to Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, and what He did at Calvary. And He is the one who performs that work, freeing us from sin by His Holy Spirit in us.